And here we go on our Tuesday edition of the Orange and Brown Talk podcast, the Hey Mary Kay edition. Our Football Insider subscribers came through with us, as they always do, with some great questions, Mary Kay, and let's get right to it. They really kind of hit on some of the topics of today here on Monday, and we'll start with the 330 area code. So, of course, Deshaun Watson is meeting with NFL investigators this week regarding the allegations against him. And so from the 330 area code, hey, Mary Kay, if the league talks to Deshaun and all the victims before the start of the season, do you think they will make a decision on his suspension, even if the court cases are still pending?
Yes, that could happen. Even though there are 22 civil suits still pending against Deshaun Watson, the NFL can hand down their suspension and or fine before this season and take care of it in the early part of this season. That's, of course, what the Browns are hoping will happen. They don't want this to stretch into next year. If he is going to be banned for a number of games, they would like to get that over with this year. So, yes, they can wrap up this investigation and make their determination before the 2022 season. Now, it might stretch into training camp before we actually hear what the situation would be, but they can get it done. And I know that there is some thought to people wanting it to happen that way.
So there's some thinking out there that because they're talking to Watson this week, that might be an indication that this investigation is nearing its end. Do you get that sense at all?
Well, I do think that it's probably ramping up. I mean, if they are going to get to the point where they try to make a determination for this season, they do have to move it forward. They've got to move it along kind of quickly now. And when I talked to Roger Goodell last month at the NFL owners meetings, actually, in late March, at the NFL owners meetings, he said that at that point they had only talked to 10 of the 24 accusers and gave an indication that they would talk to a lot more of them. So, it is something where, where I think that they have to do that. I would talk to all 24. I think you have to absolutely do that. So this could be a situation where they had to go back to Deshaun and say, but, she said this and she said this. So how do you explain that? It could mean that they are getting closer. And, it is what happens. I mean, you have to hasten the process along if you want to make this suspension happen by the start of 2022.
And this is also kind of the week to do it because this is sort of an in-between week, right? The Browns had rookie minicamp last weekend. They have about a week here before they come back for OTAs next week. And then you're kind of into 3 weeks of OTAs. You've got the mandatory minicamp, and then you've got that stretch in July. I'm sure there's a reason this week specifically was targeted, and it's probably because it was maybe just the most convenient week to be able to get Deshaun to sit down and talk to them.
Yeah. He's got a lot going on. He's got depositions. He had a deposition last Friday. Once again, there's Browns mini camp. There's OTAs will be starting, like the real on-field work where you can do 11 on 11s will be starting towards the end of May. So he does have a lot going on. And I think that this just, so happened to be a week where they could squeeze it in. And I mean, people are being very accommodating to Deshaun. I mean, they're not yanking him off the field or causing him to miss Brown's mandatory minicamp or anything like that. I think that all parties involved seem to be trying to give the Browns a little bit of a break on this for their big investment and let Deshaun do whatever he needs to do to get ready for this football season. But this did seem to be a week where there was a little bit of a break in the action.
Yeah, because obviously he's not required to be anywhere Browns related until that mini camp in June. So, I mean, even though he's been here and he's been involved, it probably wouldn't have been unreasonable to say, Deshaun, no, we need you in Texas this week.
Right. It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been at all. But, even when you look at the depositions, those are kind of based around his organized team activities practices. The next batch of depositions will be happening June 21st through the 23rd, 2 per day. That's after the mandatory minicamp. In terms of the trial will not happen between August 1st and March 1st during the season. So it does seem like, everybody's trying to make this work for all involved.